10. In a few moments, philanthropic travel coordinator Deanna Cowan from San Diego, California, who has already won $1,000.
Yes.
Will play for $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, and 10 times that amount, $10 million. So I call the power of 10. You know, on the show, I keep getting compliments about the questions. Everybody loves questions. What we do is we poll thousands of Americans every week, ask them their opinions about every topic we can think up. And to win big on the show, all I have to know is be able to accurately predict how America answered our polls. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah. So you went to Little Italy after you won last week?
I got to have pasta for the first time in like 2 years.
Poor thing, man.
No, it's a good thing.
Pasta every day keeps the heart doctor away. That's what I say. That's what I say.
I haven't had pasta in 2 years. I lost 80 pounds.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
It felt like butter. It just melted in your mouth. I was like, more.
Yeah.
And the wine kind of washed it down.
Oh, good. Well,
It's good.
let's. Okay, so you had your one plate of pasta for the rest of your life. You ready to win some money?
Yes.
Okay. And you're with your friend. I got to talk to your friend Michelle, the food scientist.
Hi.
Were you with her when she had her pasta?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Were you
we
able
had a good time.
And you're a food scientist, so you analyze food for a living, right?
Yeah, I do, but
Could you tell what chemicals were in the pasta when you tasted it?
sometimes. Yeah, you can tell what ingredients are in there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes.
wow. Okay, now you're just 4 steps away now from winning $10 million. I'm very
Yes.
excited for you. 4 steps away. Really quick in this show. So every time you get a question right, if you haven't seen the show before, every time she gets a question right, we're going to increase the money by 10, and all the way up to $10 million. When she gets a question wrong, it's going to go down by 10. So she can win a lot of money really fast, lose a lot of money really fast. That's what makes the show great. That's why your friends told you to watch it. That's why you're here. One question wrong, you're gone. We're going to give you a 30-point range on the $10,000 question, a 20-point range on the $100,000 question, 10-point range on the $1 million question. And then if you still want to play, it's going to be for an unprecedented. Nobody in TV has offered this kind of money on a prize show. $10 million. $10 million bucks. Studio audience is going to help you along. They're going to play along as if they were you. They're going to vote and tell you what they think the answer is. And finally, you have a chance to talk to your friend Michelle, the food scientist, see what she thinks. You ready?
Yes.
Let's play the Power 10. All right. Speaking of money, you want to be rich, right?
Yes.
Monetarily rich. Everybody wants to be rich in America. I bet there's some things you wouldn't do to get rich. We asked Americans, would you prefer to be rich and French or poor and American? So the question we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans would prefer to be rich and French rather than poor and American? Audience, go ahead and put in your vote, please. You have a 30-point range. So 8 to 38, you're putting it down to 8 to 38.
Michelle's good at
What do you
this
think, Michelle?
stuff.
Rich or
Yeah.
French or poor and American?
I think some people would say that they'd want to be rich and French, but a lot of people are very happy with where they are. You'd have to leave your family and...
Well, it's very, people are really patriotic here in the United States.
Yeah, I
was
like
gonna
they'd
say,
say
very true.
poor and American no matter what. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
French. They think French is bad, you know? They do, even though we eat French fries and French's mustard.
So good. Yeah.
I think a lot of people would not want to do that.
Yeah? Okay, let's see what the audience thought. Here's the audience thought. Right in the middle. 25 to 55. You're way low. You're way low. That's like 24. That's if you're going to stick with the audience. You don't have to.
I think a lot of people would rather be rich, but rich in America. So it's kind of like
Yeah, I know.
you have to.
That's why we're offering you $10,000 if you
I
can
know.
get it
It's
right.
like civil rights. I would say you're fine. Everything's good.
I don't think
I don't know. I'm gonna say a little low.
You're lower than what the audience thinks. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's, I think, okay.
You think it's good?
We have a whole 30-point range for
America's a little more
$10,000.
conservative. Yeah.
You want to see the audience vote one more time?
Yeah. Can I see one more time? It's an outstanding
There we go.
audience. I'm like thinking, you know,
Yeah, the audience is right between. You're right around where the audience is, pretty much.
I kind of want to go a little lower though. I'm telling you, I
Do
don't
what
know
you
why
want.
I'm telling a little lower.
You can do what you want. It's your money.
That's it.
41 to 51, and then you moved it down 3 percentage points. All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what America said for $10,000. What percentage of Americans would prefer to be rich and French rather than poor and American?
Lower, 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 lower,
Rich and
lower, lower,
French.
lower, lower, lower. Yeah.
Safe either way. Pretty nice. That's a lot of people, 32%. It's a lot of people. Okay, here it is. For $100,000. This is from our Norman Rockwell department. We asked Americans, do you usually say a prayer before dinner? A lot of people say prayer before dinner, a lot of people don't. It's kind of an old fad. You see it in movies and stuff, usually. We used to say it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Holidays.
Yeah, unless it was no, didn't do it. So what we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans usually say a prayer before dinner? Audience, go ahead and put in your vote, please. You can vote right now. And put in your first prediction there, Deanna. You got a 20-point range now for $100,000. I want to remind you that $10,000 is a heck of a lot of money, and you can keep it if you want to. You don't have to. Prayer before dinner. Michelle, what do you think?
I don't think there's more than 50% of Americans, unfortunately, that
I'd say, yeah, I'm kind of thinking, you know,
I say at
maybe it might be
holidays.
lower.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really say.
No, it says before.
Usually say
I think
a
it's.
prayer
I think it's
before dinner.
suggested in the question that it's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I'd say lower. I'd say lower, Deanna. Yeah.
I think you're right. I'd say it's...
Let's go ahead and see what the audience thought. Here's
Yeah.
Keith Slow. You know, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Think about maybe there's parents that want to, you know, when their kids are young, they want them to have a religious upbringing, even if they're not really observant all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, whatever, you're going to say a prayer, like start that ritual for their kid. So they might say the prayer every day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it also makes me think that I think a lot of people also hope that they do. So when they're answering...
Let me ask you this. When you were growing up, did you eat dinner with your family every night?
My family consists of like 4 people, so it was like nothing. No.
Never.
No.
A lot of, same thing
Unless
with
Monday
me.
Night Football, that was considered like prayer. Pray for the Chargers.
Same thing with me. I was only me and my mom, so we didn't, you know, there wasn't a thing where we gathered around the dinner table and we
No,
even had a chance.
yeah,
to
that's
have
what
a
I'm
prayer.
thinking. There's
So
a lot of...
those people.
It's really sad, but, you know, a generation's completely different now than it was, you know, 30 years ago.
Stay right there. I think that's good right there. Stay right there. Yeah. I think that's good. I think so.
I feel 42, like 40s. I don't know.
Go with what you think, but I think
Is it 19 or 39?
it's your decision. But I think that's a good range.
Deanna, 20% seems to be like some kind of magic threshold for you.
I'm saying, I don't know why, but like I'm thinking I need to stay like 41, 42, but I don't know.
That's a little high. That's high, Deanna. Not that many people say it.
I don't know the answer.
I know.
I wish I
That's
knew
the
the
best
answer so I
part.
can like wiggle my eyebrow or something to help me out, but I don't
No,
know.
Deanna.
I'm saying, you don't think?
I think it's lower. I do think it's lower. Intrinsically, I think it's a little, I think it's lower. Just go, yeah.
Go for it.
So we lock it in. 19 to 39%. Michelle, Deanna, $100,000 on the line.
Yeah, no, we can do it. Come on.
You can do it. If you can, what's your favorite saying? If you can believe, you can achieve.
Yeah, ask, believe, receive.
Well, we're going to find out what America thinks right after this.
Right.
Don't go away, everybody. We'll be right back after the break. I'm here with Deanna Cowan, who's locked in her answer to the $100,000 question, which is, what percentage of Americans usually say a prayer before dinner? And she says 19 to 39%. Hey, what percentage of Americans think say a prayer before they're trying to win $100,000?
I think it is 100%. I think the audience is praying too. Like, come on.
There's a lot of people praying for it. It's weird when people get down to pray, where they're like, all right, money, please, God.
The lotto.
Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans usually say a prayer before dinner?
We got it. Say it. We got it. Down, 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 down. We got it. Up, 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 a little up, up. Right there, right there. Stay, 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 stay. Stay, down, 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 down.
42%.
I felt that too.
That's exactly what we thought it was going to be.
That's okay.
Deanna Cowan, everybody. You win $1,000. Thanks for playing.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry. That was exactly what we wanted. All right, everybody. Please welcome our two new contestants, Billy Ray Walton and Nancy Wheeler. Ready for the chance to play for $10 million. How are you? Hi, Nancy. How are you? It's a pleasure. Nervous wreck. I'm going to show you a nervous wreck. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Billy Ray, you sell sales leads?
I sell leads. I sell leads to salespeople, man.
Wow, congratulations, man. So you're really, like, energetic on the phone all day.
Absolutely, man. Ready to win some money.
So what makes you think? What makes you think your sales experience is going to help you win this game?
Oh, you learn people, man. So I can sell people stuff. See,
All right, Nancy, you're from Franklin, Massachusetts.
I am.
Married, got 4 kids, and says here you do your grandmother. You do your chores naked.
I've been going through menopause for 10 years, so I do just about everything naked.
Wow.
Thank you for asking that.
Welcome for the first ever naked round of Power 10. Alrighty. Good luck to both of you. I know y'all want to come here to win some money, and everybody wants to win cash on the Power 10. Unfortunately, only one of you get the chance. And elimination round, Billy Ray, you have to eliminate Nancy. Nancy, you're going to have to eliminate Billy Ray. Here's how it works. First, we're going to reveal a question we put to our national polling sample. When I start the clock, you have 10 seconds to lock in your prediction as to how you think America answered our poll. Whoever is closest to our actual poll result wins the question. The first to get 3 right will go on to play the Power of 10. You guys ready? All right, let's play the Power of 10. Let's play the Power of 10. First question. What percentage of Americans would rather sit next to a chatterbox over a fussy baby on a long flight? Put 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. What percentage of Americans would rather sit next to a chatterbox over a fussy baby on a long flight? 5 seconds left. 4 seconds. Don't lock in. The computer's going to lock in for you. Billy Ray locked in at 70%. Nancy locked in at 74%. Let's see what America said. We'd rather sit next to a chatterbox over a fussy baby on a long flight. 52%. Billy Ray. Just a little lower. Billy Ray. That's not a 5, Nancy. That's not a 5, Billy Ray. That's not a 5. 1-0. Best out of 5.
Okay.
Here we go. Got to get 3 rights. Go on to play. Here's the second question. What percentage of Americans said that when electing candidates for public office, there should be a ballot option for none of the above? Yeah. Putting 10 seconds on the clock starts now. What percentage of Americans said that when electing candidates for public office, there should be a ballot option for none of the above? 5 seconds. Nancy's locked in already. We can't see each other's screens. Billy Ray locked in at 83%. Nancy's locked in at 53%. Wow.
I got no belief in it. None.
Belief in the system, no belief in the system. That's what it's up about here. Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans have elected candidates for public office should be ballot option for none of the above? 61%. Nancy got the closest on that one. 1-1, all tied up. Here's question 3, tiebreaker. What percentage of Americans would wrestle a declawed and muzzled bear for 2 minutes to pay off their mortgage? Put 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. Who would wrestle a declawed and muzzled bear for 2 minutes to pay off their mortgage? I have a feeling this has happened somewhere in America already. 2 seconds, 1 second. Time's up, Billy Ray. They locked you in. Nancy locked in early at 29%. Billy Ray at the last second. The computer locked you in at 17%. Let's see what America said. Bristle, declawed, and muzzled bear. Yeah, why wouldn't you? 32% Nancy. It's declawed. It's muzzled.
I know. I just...
Pay off your mortgage. Pay off your mortgage. Okay, 2-1, Nancy. Remember, it's best out of 5. So, Nancy, if you get this next one right, you get to go on and play for the Power 10. Naked if you want. You need to get all the next questions right. To get 3 right, you only have 1 right. You need to win all these next ones. Or otherwise, you just get to be on TV.
Gotcha.
Next question. What percentage of Americans drive a car with over 200,000 miles on it? Putting 10 seconds on the clock starts now. I used to drive a car with over 200,000 miles on it. Nancy's already locked in. They can't see each other's screens. They don't know what she's doing. Billy Ray's still deciding. 1 second left, Billy Ray. Time's up. Billy Ray again. Nancy just locked in right away. Billy Ray, computer locked in at 35%. Nancy, you're locked in at 24%. What percentage of Americans drive a car with over 200,000 miles on it? Let's see. Maybe get someone on a new car. 16%. Billy Ray. Sorry, man. First of all, it was a pleasure meeting you. Nancy, congratulations. Coming up next, Nancy's going to get a chance to play for $10 million. Don't go away.
I'm so excited to meet you. It doesn't even matter.
Here to play for $10 million. Nancy, we already know you used to be a nurse, and you sometimes do chores naked.
Now everybody knows that.
Everybody knows. Well, you keep the blinds down, right? So it's okay.
Oh, yeah, and there's nobody home.
Nobody home? What the heck? Yeah.
Just Bob.
Just your husband?
Yeah,
Hi,
just
Bob, how you doing? So you don't mind if she does the chores naked, right?
Oh, heck no. I have to be careful when I bring my friends home, though. You know?
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah. Did you ever get naked and do the chores with her?
No. No, not yet.
Because you don't consider it a chore yet.
That's right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Huh? You've been married 40 years?
I will be.
Coming up. Well, good for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're 5 steps now from winning $10 million.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? All right, Nancy, you ready?
I'm all set.
Okay, let's play the Power 10, everybody, with Nancy Wheeler. You have 4 kids, right?
I do.
Yeah, all right. We should ask your kids. I wish your kids were here. We asked Americans, if you had to choose, would you rather have been raised by 2 dads or 2 moms instead of a mom or a dad? The question we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans said if they had to choose, they would rather have been raised by 2 moms than 2 dads? Go ahead, audience, and put in your vote now, please. Nancy's putting in her first prediction. You're right around 36, 38 to 78, right around there. What are you thinking right now? While you're putting in your first prediction?
I'm thinking that most would say a woman. I think women are more nurturing. No offense to any of the dads.
So you want 2 moms?
I think more would say 2 moms.
Yeah, I was raised by a single
That is
mom.
the question, right?
Yeah. I was raised by a single mom and a bunch of aunts.
And a bunch of aunts. And look at how good you turned out.
Yeah, I turned out okay. Yeah. So, you know,
Okay.
I would say 2 moms probably. I don't know. I didn't have a dad, so maybe I'd say 2 dads.
I don't even know if it should be higher.
Yeah, it's a tough question for $1,000. Bob, what do you think?
You know, yeah, I think you're better off with 2 moms and 2 dads, you know. So I think the average would be higher.
Yeah,
I really do.
You want to cover the low? You think the low numbers?
You know, I think the low might be a little too low.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
I think it's too low. I'd say 45 and up, honey. 45 to 85.
Okay, the audience, let's see what the audience said. They've been screaming for 5 minutes now. Put the audience numbers up there. You quit your screaming. We're going to show what you voted. Here it is. Wow, look at that. It's like in the 40. Oh, boy, your husband is right, about 45. But then it goes down right away. That's what the audience says here in New York. It doesn't. You have to go by what you say. Moving down to. That's it. End of discussion.
No.
End of discussion.
Drew, that's how it's. That's like that at home.
So she goes.
That's why we've been married 40 years.
Yeah. Oh boy, you're locked in at 44 to 84%. $1,000. This is the road. You have to get every question right to get up there. You know.
If I don't do this, I go home with nothing except meeting you, and that's pretty.
That's something. Yeah. All right.
What's going on with me?
Okay, here we go. 44 to 84%. Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans said if they had to choose, they'd rather have been raised by 2 moms than 2 dads? Good luck to you, Nancy. 73%. Woo! That would have been close. $1,000 bucks. Pretty close. It was close. Pretty close. 4 steps now from $10 million. 4 steps away now. Now we're up to $10,000. We asked Americans, do you feel that the death penalty is archaic or a necessary deterrent? And what we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans feel the death penalty is archaic? Audience, go ahead and put in your vote, please. How many Americans know what archaic means, I wonder? We should quit using big words in our surveys. Maybe we get,
Lordy.
I know.
I had to get the toughest question all season, huh?
No, it's not. Maybe it's one. It's a pretty tough one. You got a 30-point range. 22 to 52. Just put in your first thing.
I'd go lower.
So not the crowd.
Lower, honey.
Okay. Audience, go ahead and quiet down for just a second. What were you thinking when you were putting that in? When you were putting that first?
I'm trying not to think of what I would say. I'm trying to think of what other people would think.
Right. That's the way to win the money. The people supporting the death penalty, that number's changed since people get released all the time because of DNA evidence, especially lately. You know, they're saying, well, maybe just to make sure that some prosecutor doesn't get overzealous or some jury didn't make a mistake, and we put somebody to death that shouldn't be put to death. Go ahead and put the audience vote up there, please. Here's what the audience thinks. We're in New York. There's New Yorkers in the audience. 25% starts at all the way to like 25 to 45. They're like, you know, you're a little tiny shade lower than the...
That's a good spot. That's a good, yeah, I like that.
See, I don't know if you knew this, Nancy, but one of the great things about the show is that we get to talk about each question. And pros and cons, and look at it from all the different angles. Talk to your husband. And that, when you watch the show, don't you want to watch people talking it out?
She brought me.
I know why I brought you. But we're on TV, so.
All right. Just, all right, I'm pressing that lever, man.
I'm sorry, I know it.
Do you want us to tie our right hand behind your back?
It was the one thing I thought to myself, don't pull the lever too quickly.
And then what did you do?
I did it.
Well, let's find out if it's too quick or not. It's a $10,000 question, 3-point range. You're at 13 to 43%. Yeah, they'll still be in love 40 years. Don't let $10,000 stand in your way. What percentage of Americans feel the death penalty is archaic? Let's see what America said for Nancy to go on. 26%.
it takes to be the ultimate survivor. Audition for Survivor at Back to Bed in Aurora on Saturday, January 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Visit cbs2chicago.com for more information.
A warning for pet owners, the crime committed in a local backyard at 10.
Here with Nancy Wheeler, just won $10,000. Nancy, congratulations to Nancy Wheeler. Massachusetts. What do you do with the money when you win the money?
Well, I wanted to win enough so that my husband could retire.
How much do you need for that?
Well, we have to pay our house off, so that's $80,000. So
So $100,000 would help, wouldn't it?
it would.
So this next question is a pretty big one.
It is.
Okay, here we go for $100,000. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Great.
We asked Americans, if you won an award, would you thank Jesus in your acceptance speech? If you won an award. What we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans said if they won an award, they would thank Jesus in their acceptance speech? Audience, go ahead and vote, please.
Oh, good grief.
No kidding.
Oh.
Good grief. For $100,000. Now, I want you to consider how many Jews there are in the country, how many Muslims there are in the country.
Right.
And I don't see agnostic people that are atheists, and I don't see a lot of Jewish performers getting up and thanking Jesus right away for the award that they just won. I don't see Jerry Seinfeld going, "Thank you, Jesus," for my Emmy. But if you ever watched the Country Music Awards or any shows, they all thank Jesus. Go ahead and put see what the audience thinks right here. Baseball players thank Jesus. Boxers thank Jesus if they beat the hell out of somebody. Peaks at around 40. It peaks at your high point, Nancy.
Why don't you come up a little, honey?
I'm afraid.
Bob, you think?
I think we should come up.
Because you think people would be in a phone call, they would want to say yes.
I think they'd thank Jesus. A lot of people.
You know, in a phone call, people might think, yeah, why not? And answer the question. You know? Nancy is so nervous. Bob, your wife looks nervous.
30 is the low. But 30 is the low.
Bob is saying put 30 at the low. So Nancy, you're 30. Hold on one second. Hold on.
I like that.
What's your thought process here?
My thought process is I'm hot and I'm having a hot flash. Absolutely not.
Why don't you bring it up 5 points? Listen to you! Bring it up 5 points. 35.
Up to 35 to 55.
Right there. Down 1 point. 35.
Bob says 35. Nancy, you going right with Bob here?
I think 35 to 55.
Are you going to be mad if we just win
No,
1,000?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, that settles a lot.
Absolutely not.
That
I'm
settles a
going
lot.
home with you, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 10,000. Oh.
Drew,
Yeah.
look at the prize I'm going home with.
Yeah.
Right there. Lock it in.
Just locked it in. 35 to 55%. What percentage of Americans said if they won an award, they would thank Jesus in an acceptance speech? Let's see what America said right after this commercial.
What did I do?
I think you did okay. You're right with the audience. Welcome back to Power 10. Your host and Karen here is Nancy Wheeler, her husband Bob. Nancy, just locked in on this question, 35 to 55%. The question is, what percentage of Americans said if they won an award, they would thank Jesus in their acceptance speech? You were a little lower than this. You were at 30 to 50. You bumped it up. Bob told you to bump it up to 35 to 55.
So it's your fault.
Bob says he's gonna love you no matter what. It
Yeah,
doesn't
he will.
matter.
I will.
He
More
will.
important than money.
That's right.
Well, let's see if this is true. Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans said if they won an award, they would thank Jesus in their acceptance speech, so you can get your $100 grand and Bob can retire. Robert, Corey, Nancy. 62%. So sorry, baby. So sorry. You won $1,000. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. It's a pleasure. Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Joe. Sorry, baby. Nancy Wheeler, everybody. How about it? All right, let's welcome our 2 new contestants, Megan McDowell and Carrie Elmo. Megan McDowell and Carrie Elmo. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Hi. How are you? It's a pleasure. How's it going?
Good.
Megan, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, nervous?
Not a bit.
Says you're a critical care nurse
I am.
in Chicago.
I am.
Wow.
I take care of ICU patients, and I am also the mommy of a beautiful 2-year-old little boy named Dylan and an Army wife.
Wow, weird. So being on a big nighttime game show, no stress at all after all that.
Oh, I'll talk to you in a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. Good luck, Megan. And Carrie, how are you? You're a Harvard Law student.
I am, yeah. It's good. I'm in my last year, so I'm excited to be done. And then
Those guys are supposed to be smart in Harvard Law.
some of them. Some of them.
Do you think being a Harvard Law student prepares you better for a show like this than somebody who's like a business major at Michigan State or something?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, as a lawyer, you're supposed to be able to read people, so hopefully it'll help a little, but I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't think so? Okay.
We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Carrie, Megan, good luck to both of you. I know you all want to play for the money. Unfortunately, only one of you are going to get that chance here in the elimination round. Megan, you have to eliminate Carrie. Carrie, you have to eliminate Megan. You ready? You guys ready? Good. Time to play the power of 10. Here we go. So glad there's 2 women playing together on this one. Here's the first question. What percentage of American women have claimed they have had a headache in order to get out of having sex? Put 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. What percentage of American women have claimed they had a headache in order to get out of having sex? 5 seconds. Boy, the women are screaming on this one. 3, 2, 1. Locked in. Megan, 67%. Carrie, 42%. Let's see what America said. Both percentages are pretty high. 25%. Carrie wins one. 25%. A lot of women screaming liar in the background. Here's question number 2. What percentage of Americans think the name parents give their child affects their future success? Putting 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. Percentage of Americans think the name parents give their child affects their future success. Okay, 1 second left. Carrie at 45%, Megan at 54%. Once again, Megan, you're a little higher than Carrie is. Let's see what America said. 42%. Oh. 2-0, Carrie. It's best out of 5. So if you win this next question, you go on to play for all the money. And Megan, you got to win every question from now on.
Do it.
Or it's back to the hospital in Chicago for you.
Okay. I'm going back anyway.
Come on, we go back anyway. Here we go. People have come back. What percentage of Americans said an episode of the TV show 60 Minutes is a half an hour long? Putting 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. That's a funny one. I hope it's low. 4 seconds left. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Megan at 32. Carrie at 39. Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans said an episode of the TV show 60 Minutes is a half an hour long? 9%. Megan. Coming back. Carrie, gotta be careful. Coming back. 2-1, best out of 5. Here's the next question. What percentage of Americans think people who drive SUVs do not care about the environment? Putting 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. What percentage of Americans think people who drive SUVs do not care about the environment? I don't know the answer. They can't see each other's screens. The audience is getting a peek a little bit. 2 seconds. 1. Megan locked in at 45%. Carrie's locked in at 28%. Let's see what America said. What percentage of Americans think people who drive SUVs do not care about the environment? Wow. 44%. Megan almost on the money. Well played. Carrie, you're ahead 2-0. You were down 2-0. And now look at this. All tied up. It's a whole new Power of 10 game, everybody. Here's the tie-breaking question. What percentage of American men said that if a woman asked them out on a date, they would expect her to pay? 10 seconds on the clock. The clock starts now. Man, making us all look bad. A woman asked them on a date, they would expect her to pay. 3, 2, 1. Megan took the 15% route. Carrie, 33%. Well, let's see what America said. Let's see who gets to play on for $10 million. Here we go. 22%. Just by a little bit, Carrie. I'm so sorry. Great play. What a comeback. What a comeback. Coming up next, they're going to get a chance to play for $10 million. Don't go away. How you doing, Megan?
Hi there.
You nervous still?
I'm still nervous.
You're a little nervous. You almost cried during the break.
I'm not going to cry. I told myself it's not going to, can't do that today, so.
You can cry if you want to. What if you cry if
I
you're
don't have
happy?
waterproof mascara on, so no tears today.
What if you cry if you're happy? Can you cry if you're happy?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You're allowed to.
Okay.
Let's see who's with you. Steven, your husband. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Drew?
Nice to see you. Wow, so you're in the Army, your wife's a nurse, you're like Barbie, married G.I. Joe.
There we go. Barbie for sure.
Well, congratulations. Now you're just 5 steps away from winning $10 million. You ready, Megan?
I'm ready to
Time to play the Power of 10. Let's go. Let's win some money. Megan McDowell. We asked Americans. We do it a lot on the show. We say we asked Americans, but some people aren't sure what Americans means. So we asked Americans about that. We asked Americans, do you think people living in this country who are not U.S. citizens should be considered Americans? Yes or no? The question we're asking you is, what percentage of Americans think people living in this country who are not U.S. citizens should not be considered Americans? Audience, go ahead and vote, please. Go ahead and put in your first prediction. You have a 40-point range. Do not lock it in yet. We'll talk about it a little bit. Just dialing got a 40-point range.
Higher, baby.
Cyclops guy saying higher. Yeah. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're not an American. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not a U.S. citizen, you're not an
You know what
American.
my rationale is? With this country, though, we are all immigrants. So, I mean, at one point, we're all,
Yeah, but they,
But this is right now.
Yeah, there's also South America, Central America, North America.
Considered Americans.
Norte Americano. Yeah, but this is 50 states, 48 states. This is America.
Okay.
A lot of people think that way. I don't know if you saw. Let's see what the audience thinks. Don't get your hand off that handle. Get your hand off that handle. Let's see what the audience thinks first. Don't be in such a rush. Look at that, way up there, in the middle 70s. Yeah. So you're like, but it didn't even start going up to like the mid 60s. It starts. You're way down by the 40s. What do you think, man?
I think you about got it right, so it's right where it should be at.
Yeah?
A little more?
can I just say the anti-immigrant sentiment in the United States is very high right now.
Exactly.
So, you know, you have to...
I'm going to go with it.
You're going to go with that, the 85%? Locked in for $1,000, 45 to 85%. Critical care nurse, you're used to making decisions quickly and sticking to them no matter what. All right, so here it is for $1,000. I hope you're right. I hope you get to keep on playing for up to $10 million. What percentage of Americans think people living in this country who are not U.S. citizens should not be considered Americans? Let's see what America said. America, America, America. She thought 85 was enough. It's 80%! 80%, you won $1,000. You won $1,000. Nice job. Everybody have a hand for Megan. That's it for this edition of Power 10. Join us next time when someone can walk away winning $10 million. I'm Drew Carey from New York City. Good night, everybody. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Val Kilmer stars in Comanche Moon. CBS Next. Welcome to a Hollywood landmark.
Anything you need, Jesus is your man. Jesus, I got a few boxes in the car. Do you think you can give me a hand?
No, sir.
How often do you play?
Not as often as I like. 8-9 times a week.
Damn it! Welcome to The Captain. Premieres Monday, February 4th.